Let's talk about what we observe regarding information in the cell. If we start with dead chemicals, we need to add information, energy, some structure, and other things, and you wind up with a living cell. Why are we concerned about the living cell? Well, the cell is the reproductive, self-maintaining, most basic unit of life. Without a first cell, undirected macroevolution can't get started. So our objective is to see, can undirected macroevolution, well, can the first cell be generated to kickstart undirected macroevolution? We know that systems in the cell need information to operate, and this information is transmitted by one or more codes. So we use that word code. What do we mean? Well, we have codes all around us. We used codes when we were little and we wanted to exchange messages with people and we didn't want somebody to know about them. So one I'm sure you're familiar with is assigning a number to a letter and then sending messages as numbers. And so you can take a message, convert it to numbers, and then take the numbers and convert it back to the message. The universal product code is something we use every day at the grocery store. And you may know this, you may not, but the width of the bars is what is used to convert into numbers. And so a number becomes a series of bars with widths, and the bars with widths can be converted back to the number. In general, a code maps from one set of symbols to another set of symbols. And don't let that word symbol scare you. In the one case, one symbol is a set of letters, and in the other case, it's a set of numbers. And for the universal product code, one set of symbols is a line width, and it decodes into a set of numbers. In general, our experience is that codes are handcrafted by intelligence. I myself have crafted several codes myself in my career. There are many codes in the cell. There's the epigenetic code, there's the membrane code, there's the sugar code, there's the RNA splicing code, there's the bioelectric code, there's the histone code, and then there's the genetic code that we hear so much about. There are a lot of codes. I've just listed some of them here. I suspect we'll find more and more as time goes on, and so this list will become larger and larger. We're going to focus on the genetic code. But how many genetic codes are there? Well, it turns out there are 33 genetic codes. And we're going to focus on the first one, which is what we call the standard genetic code. We do want to point out that the development of these other codes needs to be explained too. How is the standard genetic code organized? Well, it's a hierarchy. And you could think of it as going from letters to libraries, in a sense of a letter is what's called a nucleotide. That's the smallest item that we're concerned with. Words are codons, where you take 3 nucleotides or a triplet. Sentences are genes, and paragraphs are operons. Chapters are chromosomes, and a book is a living organism. The key to this is to point out that this is about information. There's an analogy here. The genetic code is used to construct proteins, as we'll see. And this chart is a way to decode how to construct a protein. You have a triplet of nucleotides, which is the codon. So you would start from the inside circle, go to the next level of circle, and then the circle with all of the UCAGs. And that would map to a amino acid. And the amino acids are on the outside of the chart. What's strange is that this is not a one-to-one mapping. The code maps the triplet to an amino acid, but there's 64 3-letter codons as input, but there's only 20 amino acids and a stop signal as output. And the green arrow there is an example where you go with CUG to get leucine, and AGC to get serine. Now, don't get hung up on that. We just wanted to illustrate uh, this for you. Let's talk about information now. What do we observe about information? We see that life without information is dead chemicals. Right? This is pretty common. If you were to take a cell and you were to remove the DNA from that cell, where that DNA is information, that cell will die. Cells need information to operate and stay alive. That's the core observation we want to make.